working? Yeah. Just want to test. So I'm basically gonna just grab some war drum sounds here. Most relevant. War drum, okay. So these are super nice to emphasize some of the words. I will be using them for the intro. Too bad that I can't spend that much time on this production, but I still want to do something. Okay, so that's nice. Nice. I'll just take all of them so I can select later. No, that's not good. Oh. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Okay, so let's see what we got. So I have all these effects, but I have like some equalizer on them. I'm always cutting this mid-range for the vocals because these are supposed to back up the vocals. These are supposed to complement the vocals. If they are all over the place between 1K to 5K, then I'm not gonna have room for the vocals. So that's why I have something on each one of them. I'll show you how I do it. So this one I forgot. Let's listen. Oh yeah, I'll have something here too. So for the FX stuff, you can just, if you go higher, if you cut majority of the frequency, this is just gonna complement. This is not going to be so audible, and it's gonna be there, but it's not going to have that much tonal information that our ears pay attention to. Do you get what I mean here? Like, it's gonna be there still, but my ear is not gonna pay attention to it because there's tonal information most of the time here, and this one doesn't have the tonal information. So that's why it's good to cut them, and don't be afraid if you have to cut a lot, and after that, you put them in a group and you cut one more time just to make space for the vocals. So if I don't put this, you're gonna be able to hear the difference. But if I put this, let's say so the more you cut from the FX section, let's say I have an FX, right? The more I cut from the FX, the more it loses its body. So it's just becoming a texture. Look, now this literally became a texture. And if I cut more, it's just gonna lose all the attention. It's just gonna be there, but it's gonna sound like a layer for something. It's never gonna sound like an individual element of the track. I like it. I don't want it so much because why I prefer this? Because right here, song starts and my main melody of my song is actually coming here. Not my song actually, this is not even my song, but the main melody comes right here. So that's why I go ahead and make it weak. So it's still here, but it's weak. It's not getting all the attention. It's super weak. Look at this. And also there's second way that you can make it weak. Just lower the volume. Just lower the gain. I don't know, you guys have to go here somewhere to make the, to lower the gain automation, I know. On Ableton, this is what we do. Just lower the gain. So two ways. You go on the equalizer, you cut all that stuff, make it weaker. If you have only a few high frequencies left, that's super weak. It's just gonna be there like a texture. So we do the opposite for some other instruments, but for this one, for this FX section, for the crash stuff, this is most of what I do because this is where they live. They live in the highs. Crash sounds never live in the middle or in the lows. They mostly live in the, I mean, they do live in the middle and bass area too, but you just cut them. This is not the place for them to sit. This is the place for them to sit. So maximum like this. Maximum like this. A crash should never be like all over the place like this. Should never be, you know, when you look at the frequency spectrum, just divide it into two in your eyes. Let's say, even if I have zero mixing knowledge, I just divide it with my eyes, right? I divide it, okay, now I know this part should be the bass, this part should be where my ears pay attention, and this is the highs. So, and for this crash, I'll just cut everything because my main melody is coming there, so I kind of want to cut that. Yeah. And you can make these decisions during production. This is including in mixing. Some of the stuff are mixing topics, but these are, you're actually supposed to do this in production, you know. I mean, mixing engineer can still do it for you, but then he's going to spend all that time for that instead of other stuff, right? You can do it. Oh my god, all over the place. I just want to, yeah, let's see which parts I can use from these war drums. So when I look at the waveform, I already see, look, this is like one drum. This is second drum, right? You just look at the waveform, you tell a story. And you don't have to listen to the track. You just look at the waveform, you're like, oh, there's something here. What is that? Some noise problem, but this is another hit. So these are all drum hits. When you look at the waveform, you should be able to understand. If you try to look at more waveforms more often, you get better at this. So like this. This is another hit. This is another hit. This is another one. Awesome. So without even thinking so much, I could actually just cut one of these and I can grab it to my first drum. This is where my song's supposed to start, right? I can just grab it here. I know this is the first hit. Okay, and then this one is the second. I can just grab that, right? And I'm gonna, later I'm gonna, right now what I'm doing, I'm just cutting the whole loop. I'm just cutting the whole loop. It's okay, you don't have to cut like right here. You can just cut here, cut here. Okay, so this is another hit. I don't know what the sound is. I'm gonna listen to it later. This one is another hit. I'll cut it. So I want you to look at the beginning. So when you see a waveform, right? So this is a waveform, right? Where do you think this waveform starts? You need to be able to be familiar with this stuff because this is how you're going to produce. This is how you're going to pick your samples without even listening. So now when I look at this waveform, what do I see here? There's like a little space here, but normally it's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen because why? This is a drum hit. Drum hits, any type of percussive elements start with a present hit. I feel like there's like so much space in this one. There's that. Okay, look, there's like so much space. This one I can totally cut. Great. Now I have a more clean sample. So war drums are a little bit more complicated because they don't have that much attack. So if this was like a normal, I'm just giving you an example right now. If this was like a normal drum, it will look like this. it will look like this. It will just start somewhere. The highest peak, look at all these peaks, right? The highest peak will be at the beginning, if this was a normal drum. But this is a war drum, so it has a little bit of longer attack. Attack is the first initial of the sound. We call it attack. So when we have the war drums, we do have a little bit space on them. Some of them, not all of them. So okay, I can actually get rid of this bit. Looks like this is empty. It starts here. If you really, really zoom into the file, you can actually find where exactly starts. Okay, looks like it's empty, empty, empty. Yeah, I can tell it starts here. I can cut it there. Great. And then I get rid of this one. Great. Perfect. So now you know where to cut those. And there's one more. Let's get this one too. Okay, this one looks big. Oh, that's not a thing. That's a crash actually. Okay, I'll skip that. Anyways, you get the idea, right? I have war drums, so I'll take this one too. I'm just gonna take this one to here. Amazing. And it's a war drum. Since these are going to be all cut all over the place, I always fade out. You can also do fade in, but don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. We decide later, because we want to see if the attack, that longer attack, gives us some vibe. We don't know that yet. We're gonna find out, because we haven't listened to it yet. We're just editing with our eyes, right? Okay, so there's another one. Again, I'm not even listening. I'm just telling that, okay, this is another drum hit. Great. I cut it right here. Perfect. I cut it right here. I zoom in and cut after. But most of the time, you don't even have to do that. You can just cut it like this. I mean, just cut where you want to cut, to be honest. You can just cut where you want to cut. But since I don't like that, I just want to do it the right way. I just want to cut here and then trim it after by taste. Trim it after by taste. Yeah, you never want to cut so much from the sample, then you have to make up for it. Just, you can trim it. You can always trim it, And on Logic, trimming is pretty easy, that I know of. Okay, now let's listen to our war drums. What we got? Look, this one sounds like cutting. I'm gonna do fade out here. So when I do fade out, it's gonna look like a normal drum hit. Look at this. And it still sounds like it's cutting. There's a makeup for it, don't worry. I'm gonna show you soon. We just put a little bit of reverb tail, and it smooths out the tails. It smooths out the tails. It's amazing, magical. I have like space here. I want to trim that right away. I don't want to wait. Too much space. Okay. Okay, great. And this one also looks like it's cut. Yeah, I kind of want to fade out those just to avoid those audible cuts. Let's listen to it one more time. Like, yeah, that's fine. I'll keep that one. This one, I'm gonna fade out. This one is good. I can use it. It sounds like a good one. And later what I can do, I can take just one of them and pitch it up and down and make it sound like 5 different drum beats. I can also do that. But first, I'm just gonna, separate them, see if I can work with them, right? And I'm gonna decide, okay, so this one already fade out. This one, I don't know what I'm doing with this one. I'll decide later. This one is good, but you see there's like a cut. You see it looks like it's a cut in the half. And this is gonna sound weird. Without even me demonstrating this drum, I know it's gonna sound suck. So, see? Sounds like it's cut. So that's why we do fade out. And if it sounds like too short, because we cut it, right? If it sounds too short, it's okay. Again, we can apply, if we need it to be longer, we can apply reverb tail, only the tail, so we can have it still. We can still have it long. I'm going to show you how to do that, because when you cut all those samples, there's a way you can actually, you also want to make them usable, right? You don't want to just cut them and then they sound like trash now. You want to make sure you use them and you're able to use them. So this one, yeah, I do a little bit fade in because I see some uneven initial. Okay, this one, yeah, definitely fade out. Yeah. This one, yeah, a little bit cut too long, unnecessarily long. So maybe a little fade in. You know, so you're doing this without even listening. So I'm just gonna make it short. In time you get used to. In time you get used to, and you don't really think so much. You just do it. But it needs, like, you know, if you can practice taking samples from Splice and chopping them off, if you can practice like at least like you know twice a week, you're good. You're done. Yeah, in a year you'll be amazing. Yeah, because most of the stuff that we do it this way. Yeah, in modern production, this is what people mostly do, right? So Jake was producing this track yesterday, and he didn't have to do any of these because he just picks one. Because of the genre, he just picks one drum set that sounds good, and he just picks the same thing each time. He doesn't even have to pick different drums because that's his genre, that's his sound, that's his style. So he doesn't have to go look for different interesting drums. He doesn't have to do what we do. But if your genre, you may have to do this. You may have to learn this, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I want to see. So I'm gonna put one for each word. I'm just gonna take this into the group. Okay, 1 second. Two more minutes. Back. Grab some tea and use the bathroom. Okay, we're back. Let's see what we got. Okay. I can totally use each one of them actually. They sound great. Okay, so you see the crash sounds, right? And I have war drum sounds. So I'm gonna match them with the crash sounds because I know the crash, I already composed the crash to hit at the beginning of each word. So if I just match the drums to the crash sounds, I'm good. I don't have to match them to the words again. So I have these 4 crash sounds. Let's make them green so we know. And these are the drum heads. Make them dark green so we know what we got here. Let's take them here. Okay, so now I'm just gonna match these drums, yeah, like this. Yeah, this one doesn't have to be that long. The reason it doesn't have to be that long, there's another one she'll hit right here. Yeah, exactly. So I'll take this one here on another channel. Great, I'll take it here. Oops, 1 second. What am I doing here? Okay. I can't do it. Yeah, I just have to duplicate and delete the rest. So since some of the drums are overlapping, I mean the tails are overlapping, that's why I'm gonna use a second channel for this. So I'm gonna have like 1 and 2. So this is also the technique that Tizio, Chris Brown's producer, is using. So he always has like 2 tracks in case, I mean for stuff like this, in case they overlap. Because sometimes you want to keep some of the tail to keep it natural, right? But if it overlaps, what are you gonna do? You can't just copy this and here, copy and paste. If I do that, that's just not gonna sound great, probably. So to make it more audible, you benefit from double tracks. So you got one here, this one goes here, this one goes here. So you are able to benefit from the tail, so it doesn't sound like it's cut right there. Oh, it sounds terrible. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see, this sounds terrible. I don't know why. Let's just keep this one mute for now. I'm gonna take the same sample, put it here. I'm gonna pitch it. Yeah, pitch it down. So what I did, I took the same sample. Look, I pitched it down. Amazing. And don't worry, later I'm gonna smooth them out with reverb. So I use reverb most of the times to smooth things out, because that's like the professional use, you know. There's a reason that you use reverb. You don't want to just drum all your samples into reverb, because that's gonna sound like beginner work. That's gonna sound unprofessional. You have to have a purpose to use reverb. What is your purpose? You want to smooth those samples out? Yes, that's actually #1 reasons that I use reverb, is to smooth out samples. Smooth out some of the stuff and to make them longer, right? This is the main reason I use in production reverb. In production is to smooth out the harsh samples. Anything, to smooth out anything. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna see if it works or not. I'm gonna see later. I need to listen in the context. Okay, so now I did all my editing, I can listen. So also another thing that I do here, so when I'm editing the stuff, I don't listen, so I can rest my ears, I can rest my judgment, because if I keep looping, I end up liking. And it's not just me, it's like the entire world, everybody, all the people, like if they're being exposed to the same thing, they end up liking it. So I don't want that illusion in the production phase, especially. Okay, so now I was able to, you know, edit all the samples that I found. Now I'm just gonna listen from scratch to see how it sounds. Actually, yeah, okay, so these two, I think they work, but I'm gonna tweak them later. So I don't make the last judgment and be done with it. I always tweak later. So this one, I'll edit it like this. So I put it right on time on this one. a little bit of, it enters a little bit of later, that's fine, that's fine. And this one, I want to add a little bit thing too. Yeah, let's see. This one sounds terrible. Absolutely horrible. I want to take something else here. So, I mean, not gonna like. Okay, now I am gonna like this one more. And I'm only gonna pitch a few. So much better, so much better. Amazing. I'm going to increase the gain of this because I'm not able to hear this. Since these are too short, our human brains experience them like they have like the lower dB, even though they are like similar, even though they have like a similar dB, just because they're short, our brains think they're not loud enough. So when I see short samples, I know exactly what to do. If I'm trying to match the volume, I know I need to go a little bit higher with the, just to match the volume, because our perception is different. Our perception, so the entire production and mixing, we do for listener's perspective, right? We're trying to see the whole thing from their perspective. And we pay attention to their abilities, their hearing abilities. That's how we make all the decisions. But if I just use my ears, if I just use my eyes, that's not going to be enough. I should, let's say, in order to make it sound like more loud, I'm going to have to crank up the gain a little bit more, because these are short and they're not going to sound as loud as these long ones. So also in the production, you should know, anytime you have like some long sample, human brain is going to pay attention to that. So you have to do something with it. If you don't want your brain to pay attention to it, you want to do something with it. So it took so long for me to understand the magic between long samples and short samples, because human brain like really pay attention. Human brain thinks longer the sample is, the louder it is. And later in the production, you're probably gonna use like some synth sounds, and some of the sounds are going to be bright and long. So they're gonna be like bright and long sounds. Oh my God, I want you to know those are the worst for production. Reason is because they're so long, number one, and they are so bright, number two. This means this synthesizer, whatever it is, it's gonna get all the attention. It's just gonna leave no room for production. So I used to make this mistake. I used to be a fan of Deadmau5. I used to use his style of synths a lot in my songs, and my songs were all over the place, my dance music songs, my previous life. So they were all over the place because I kept using these like long, sustained, bright synths that are taking up the entire frequency. And I was like playing live, I was not able to understand why my drums were sounding loose. I was not able to understand why my vocals are sounding, I'm louder, I crank up the volume of my vocals at the stage, I crank it up, right? But it still doesn't sound audible. The reason is because I kept using those Deadmau5 bright, long synth pads, and they left no room for the production. But of course, I was trying to learn all this by myself, so I had to, I made so many mistakes on the stage, and yeah. So now you know what type of sounds that you should avoid. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure about this one, but we'll see. Let's see our crash sounds. I'm this one so far. I need a clash sound. This at the end, this I want this one to be different. I probably copied and pasted this crash sound, this one. I want the last one to be different. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have different crashes from the same sample pack, but this last one I want it to be splash sound. Maybe do I have? So this is another drum term that we use. So splash is a very small drum. Let me show you. Let me show you actually. Splash. Oh my god. I used to play drums. Drum. Was it? Wait. Is it splash in English? Splash drum. Yeah. It's like a very small. So this is supposed to be like a very small one. It looks like this. Look. Do you see this? But it's like the smallest one at the top. It's like the smallest one at the top. Look how little this is. Just take this. Look. Take this. How little this is. This is so cute. I always love the splash sound. So that's another type of crash. Again, you really don't have to be a drummer to have any of these. You just type splash, you're good. Just know what to type. And in this case, we just type splash. Oh, of course, these are the bad samples that I have here. Splash crash. Splash also is a type of crash, but it's just because of the size of it. Size small, since the size is small, it doesn't have those low frequencies. It's gonna sound like a little bit more high pitch frequency, because when you think about the acoustics of instruments, the bigger the instrument is, the lower the frequency response you're gonna get. So the splash is a very, very small one. So that's why you get that high pitch. So let's say if I have like 5 guitars here, and if I ask you which one has the most low frequencies, I believe you will be able to tell immediately by looking at the size. If something has a larger size, then you should know that that's going to contain much more low frequencies. I don't know if you ever seen like an orchestra playing like the bass anytime. What's the name of that? They call it bass, but the bigger the size gets, you get lower frequencies. It's crazy. So, but if you look at the cello is in the mid range. But if you go to violin, it's even like a smaller instrument and it's actually high pitch. So just keep this stuff in your mind. In future, it will help you. Okay, I really like this splash. I like all of them. Because I like splash, that's why. Oh, that one is too little. But yeah, even the little ones, you can use it for stuff. Oh my god, that's terrible. Beautiful. Let's see more. So also, I'm gonna show you one more thing. So you're gonna see a lot of samples. So when you look at the sample name, it says splash, right? Just know the name of the samples. And if you see, let's say, if you see like choke is also a terminology that we use in drum production. The choke means it's cut. It's basically cut by another drum beat or drum, by another drum sound. So we use it a lot in drum production because sometimes you don't want all your drums to play at the same time. And if you're not editing them, cutting them, pasting them carefully, they overlap. And that overlap is causing some issues. And your instruments are not going to sound clear enough if you don't cut that. So if you were to compose your drums in a MIDI way, like in Logic, if you grab Logic drum a instrument and then grab all your stuff there. If you use the MIDI approach to compose the drums, then you're gonna see this a lot, choke, because you're gonna have that button. It's gonna, when you click on that button, it's gonna choke. It's gonna allow only one sample to go through. Let's say, I mean, I can't do it here because I'm using the audio approach, but you should know in MIDI approach, you're gonna have multiple stuff. Let's say you have like 2-3 stuff. Let's say I have these two, right? At this point, which sample do you think is gonna win? This one, because it has the initial hit. So it's gonna choke the rest. It's gonna choke it. So yeah, this is something they use in the drum production, but I'm just telling you this thing because sometimes you look at the name of the sample, it says choke, and you already know it's actually cut. So you know that that's a short sample. Let's go through some more samples. I like this one. I'll take this one. The reason I picked this one because it's long enough and it's high pitch enough, so I don't have to edit this one that much. I'm being just lazy right now. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna lower the volume, of course. And I'm gonna put equalizer later. Let's see. Okay, so we got the splash sound. Let's see on the equalizer. Look, all over the place. We don't need any of these. We don't need any. Splash has to be like high pitch. That's enough. This is enough. You don't have to give so much attention to splice. I'm gonna cut this one. Mute. Let's see. I like that. I like that. Yeah, make it a little bit louder. We're gonna tweak all of this later. Yeah. I actually want to put this one right where this one was. So we're just gonna go surgical here. Okay. It should work now. It should work with the beat now. Okay, now let's see how it sounds with her vocals. Let's see. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Oh. This one seems like didn't stick out that much. Yeah. I'm gonna put another one. Okay. So I wanna pay attention to that part. But when she says, show me why. See, that splash was not enough, so I had to do another one. Sometimes it happens, it's not enough sometimes, you know? Okay. Yeah. Later, I'm gonna clean them up, don't worry. We're gonna make room for the vocals later. First, right now I'm just composing. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oops, what am I doing here? Oh, I keep going to that terrible sound. I like these chalk samples. I'll use them because they're short. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need a short one. Yeah. Yeah, this one. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, it worked. Seems like I needed a short one. Da, da. Yeah. Da, da. So I copied and pasted. Da. Yeah, Y, I. When she says, actually, I don't want to do it. I want to take another one because they're so one after another. They sound so similar. Also, it's going to sound unprofessional if I, they just sound exactly the same. And it's better to just differentiate it a little bit, I believe, for some. Yeah, I'm gonna mute the rest because it's distracting me. Okay, let's see. I need something reversey here. I'm gonna take this thing. I'm just gonna reverse it. So simple. Command J. I'm just gonna reverse it. Yeah. And I'm gonna cut the beginning of it, so it's gonna be like a short reverb. So right now I'm just using the fade features to play with the characteristic of the sound. Yeah, fine. Maybe. Okay. I don't know why it sounds like trash. It's not supposed to sound like how Okay, let's see. First placement was so much better. Yeah, I'll just use something like this. Yeah, let's see. Again, anytime I drag all the samples, I'm always like doing some fade and fade outs. I don't know, I feel like it. Yeah, I still need something like a light here. I'm gonna cut it. I keep doing this little audio. Just look how weak the sample is. Oh, of course it's gonna sound weak right now because I have a different equalizer there. That's why I'm taking this to another channel. So now it's gonna sound like something. See? It's right here. Yeah, that's fine. Lower. Okay. Let's go one more time. we give one more try. When she says why, I need 2 big crashes there. It sounds terrible still to me. So I'm just gonna make like some audio channel. I'm just gonna select 2 big crashes. This is also nice. I'm always gonna choose from crashing because they sound really good. It makes a difference in the track, you know. Crash. It makes a difference when you compare them in the production. When you're producing the crash samples, you don't understand the difference, but they add up on top of each other. That's why I sent you this Kashmir pack, because it's the best one. So you really don't have to, go look for the samples. This is the best library that you can get. It's just gonna make any tracks stand out. Yeah, I like this one. Crash. So it says symbol crash splash. So like 3 of them layered. We can totally use that. Yeah, this is the audio channel actually. So when she says why, I'm gonna emphasize those words with this symbol. We do that sometimes. If you want to emphasize a word, you just put like a hidden crash or symbol on it, but you tuck it back in the mix so it doesn't distract the listeners, but there's something there. So you layer it with something, and all of a sudden that word is actually being emphasized. And people never know why, but we know why, so. When she says why I. Oh my god, this is so loud. Yeah, I want to cut it. And I'm gonna put another. Yes, very nice. I love Kashmir Library. Oh my god, I'm stupid. I wish I used only Kashmir samples for this one. See, I'm stupid. See, I'm not stupid, of course, but I guess I was lazy to type Kashmir there. I don't know. How stupid. How stupid this is. I mean, yeah. Why? When she says why, yeah, I'll grab it right here, and I just lower this. I'm gonna put this on a different layer because I don't want them to feel like it's cutting. I want them to feel like it's a different one, so that way I can benefit from this tail. Sometimes the tails are good, especially for big intros like this. You benefit from those tails. Otherwise, it's just gonna sound like, oh, everything is cut. Wow, it sounds fake, you know. I don't want to continue to listen to the rest because it's distracting me. So let's do one more. Okay. I don't know why I have 2 of them here. I need a long crash here too. Exactly here. See, I know where it's gonna go. Crash, long crash. So I was just thinking in my brain, so I put a marker there so I know where to put that crash. So I don't go look for it. I don't overthink it. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I'll try this one. Let's see if it actually works. Yeah, let's see if it actually works. Oops. Are you waiting for the package?
I think it's
Before you? Okay, sweetie.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, sweetie. All right. Okay. So now let's. So this crash, it doesn't start with a, punchy sound. That's why I'm gonna cut the beginning of it. You can always cut it, and then you can create the illusion of, okay, now this is a punchy crash because look at this. It starts low because it's an orchestra crash, right? It starts low, it gets high. We don't want that. We just want that initial. We need that initial. I'll just cut it. Yeah, exactly. So I'll just cut it and put it there. Amazing. Okay. Who is this? Okay, let's go continue. Oh, how long was I recording? Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Okay. Oh my god, that's too I think I'm not gonna cut it to make it super initial. Yeah, I don't want to do it. It sounds too, I don't like it. Yeah, much better this way. Yeah. And I'm gonna, of course, shorten it out. Yeah, without even listening, I know that, look, there are other crashes here. So I don't have to keep listening to the track. I can just cut by just looking at the rest of the arrangement is, I can actually cut it, right? My crashes are not audible. Dun, dun. Of course, because I was using splash sound. See, it didn't work. Actually, I'll keep them because I like the initial of it. Yeah, I like it. I like the initial sound of it. I like the punchiness of it. Yeah, I like the punchiness of it. But I'm definitely gonna use some crash to back it up. Comment. Yeah, I'm just gonna add another audio. Yeah, so when you go on Kashmir sample, there are like basic crashes there. They just work the best. They work really good. I wanted to do it a little different for this one, but seems like we just take that and cut it. Again, if you see, like I never used the crash samples exactly as is. I always cut them. The reason I wanted to show this part to you because this is how you actually do it. Because there's no one size fit all. You have all these samples, but you need audio editing skills. You need audio editing practicing to get this part done. This is the only time you'll be editing a lot of audio. So if you're composing the low drums like percussion, snares, then you're not gonna need so much editing on those. But this crash section, crash, splash, we call them like top drums. You're gonna need a lot of audio editing practice for this part. But again, for snares, for kicks, you're not gonna need to do anything. In fact, I recommend you not touching your kicks, not touching your snares, just find the good samples and move forward from them. I recommend not editing so much the snares and the kick drum sounds. Yeah, because those are like easy to mess up with, but these are not. See, this was like too loud and long. Yeah. Okay. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's what she says. You just take the same thing. Ta, ta. So we kind of want to emphasize that, right? So we have it already here. Okay, this should work. So I'm just gonna pitch it differently. Pitch it down. So normally there's another trick here. So when you use like splash or when you use samples like that, sometimes you use exactly the same one, right? Just take it to another channel and pitch it down. It will sound like pitch like 1 or 2, 3 decimal, and it will sound like a different one. So Kashmir made this whole sample library pack, but he also uses this technique. He says people that, okay, you're using my samples, but just go grab them, but try to, you know, pitch them up and down so you can differentiate them. You can get better results. Yeah, so in his videos, he's actually showing the techniques of using his own library. So if you want to check out that video, he has a bunch of them right now. Yeah. So far, I mean. There's something bothering me here, probably this one. This one is all over the place. I don't like this. Make them smaller. I just need the initial of these ones. I'll just take this part of the sample. Something is bothering my ears. I don't really know what it is. Yeah, I used too many crash samples, that's why. I'm all over the place, probably that's why. Yeah, actually, those sounded better. So these ones, I still want the crash sound, but I want to pitch it down. Yeah. This one also, I want to pitch it down. Yeah, and I want to cut it short. Let's see. I know what to do. Remember we had this little sample here that we didn't know what to do about it? The little wardrobe sample. We can totally, it's time, we can actually use that one now. Let's see, is this the one? Yeah. 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 Let's. Yeah, why not? It sounds interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put like a reverb on it. Yeah. Valhalla. Valhalla room. Beautiful. So now it's working. And I want to cut the highs because I just want it to be there to be as in the texture. Since this is not a crash sound, human brains, and it's like a short, and it's a little bit punchy. So human brain is going to pay attention to it. That's why I cut the highs immediately. Because I know human brain is going to be like, oh my God, what's there? What's there? So you don't want that illusion. You still want to keep the attention on the vocals, right? So yeah, that's why I'm just gonna cut the highs. I know I did something completely opposite what I did, but this one, yeah. Yeah, nice. Actually, Microshift, you don't have this plugin, but you can use any doubling plugin. So it just makes it like a double, push it to the side. So it's more lush. It makes it more lush, it makes it more wide. That way our ears, again, do not pay attention to it, because when you have like a catchy stuff like this is, you immediately know that this is an attention seeker, attention drawer. So attention seeker is like, human brain is going to give the attention to it. So to be able to distract that, we use like doublers, we use like widening plugins. So this is just a widening plugin. It pushed the stuff to the side, so human brain doesn't pay attention. Yeah, I mean, it's still there, but yeah, it's still there. But human brain, since it's washed out with the room reverb, and I applied widening, and I cut the highs. Look, I did 3 things just to take away the attention from this little sample. I cut the highs. Anytime you want to take away the attention from something, just make sure you cut the raw highs. Try different stuff, but 3 things that you can drive. First one is, first you cut the highs. Immediately when you cut the highs, this is going to sound like it's coming from further. So this sound is not close to you anymore. Your brain is going to think this sound is coming from further. And immediately when you apply the widening tools, any widening tools, this is going to push it to the sides. When something is like pushed back to the sides, means that you're not going to pay attention to it, because you're still listening. I mean, you're still going to listen to it, but it's not going to distract what's going on in the rest of the song. So this is good stuff that you can use. Also, I use any type of reverb. You can use Logic's reverb. And when you add a little bit of touch of reverb, this is also going to push it back in the mix. So this one is pushing it to the sides in the mix. This one is pushing it back. Anytime you apply reverb, it pushes back. And if you cut the highs, it pushes it back again. So 3 tricks. So this is one session. I'm going to close the session now. I'm going to continue finishing this. I'll still record it for you. But we did some cool stuff here. So, okay, I'm going to stop it now. We'll continue later. Break time.